Alrighty guys, I'm feeling a little bit better, managed to get the fever out of the way, so here we are. It seems that we got a bit of a heads up for the first year anniversary for Black Clover Mobile on who it's going to be. And to get that information and to know on what the first year anniversary is going to be is to know about the storyline to where we are going to be when it comes to the 1 year mark for Black Clover Mobile. So obviously right now we're getting through the Witch Queen arc, as I like to say. We're pretty much practically at the end of it. And then of course we'll soon move over to the exam section, the Magic Knights exam parts. And so from that point on, you guys can get an idea on who the first year anniversary character realistically is going to be. I mean, we kind of knew ahead of time on that it was going to be Yuno. Let's just kind of call it how it is. But this kind of confirms it a little bit more. So I saw this get initially messaged out and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. And then the fever hit and I was just like, yeah, I ain't gonna get anywhere near this. But anyway, we're feeling a little bit more better now, even though it sounds like I'm dying. So chapter 11, as the exam is held, the recruit elite Magic Knights, known as the Royal Knights, to combat the Eye of the Midnight Suns. Asta and Yuno also participate in the exam. Chapter 12, this is when I do believe this is going to be more for either just before the anniversary or when the anniversary drops. That's when I think chapter 12 is going to be happening, because with chapter 12, in the Royal Knights test selection test, the candidates fiercely battle each other in the second round. Chris' formidable team goes head to head with Asta's team. Oh. Chris, okay. I mean, to be honest, this was one of the characters which I was expecting for them to drop. That's cool. Anyway, this pretty much confirms the Spirit Dive Yuno for chapter 12. Yeah, so this is kind of where we're kind of looking at with how things are being done chapter-wise, which will then introduce Yuno Spirit Dive, of course. So the interesting thing about all of this is that, as you guys can see, for February, Zora and Vanessa are going to be releasing, which is interesting because if they really wanted to, they could have saved them for March, and like they could have released more characters within the current arc that we're at with Vanzel. Oh wait, don't it was a rare character? Interesting. Okay. I mean, technically speaking, they could still release these characters, as obviously chapter 11 is still yet to release, right? And that was, we've kind of stopped that track. Well, chapter 10 is basically coming to an end. So technically speaking, in that range, they could still release these characters as a pickup units, of course. Which I feel like might have been the best route to do it. So drop these characters and then bring Zora and, Vanessa first, then Zora. Because then, of course, the exam does make sense. Because at that point, obviously, Zora takes, oh, I forgot his name. Is it Xerix? Takes his place, basically, from the Purple Orca. And then, obviously, has his way in for the exam itself. Okay, so chapter 10 is going to be ending, it's starting on the 30th when Merilliona drops, and probably that will cover February. I mean, to be honest, because the thing is that the release date for Black Clover was May 18th, so May basically is the month of the anniversary for Black Clover Mobile. And so if we're getting chapter 10 at the end of January, technically speaking, what they could do if they choose to is they could potentially drop chapter 11 maybe at the end of February or maybe at the beginning of March, and then when it comes to chapter 12, that will probably be released either at the end of April or at the beginning of May, which will then lead into, in the middle of May, Yuno Spirit Dive dropping, and that will initiate the anniversary for Black Clover Mobile. Now the thing is that could they do part 1, part 2, part 3? Of course they can. If they want to milk it, then expect multiple parts for the anniversary. Typically, games tend to do part 1 and part 2. So if that's something that you want to, stay prepared for, then there is that. Although I do think that the initial key thing from, oh god, don't play, Jesus Christ, I don't want to get freaking copyright strike. But when it came to the exam itself, I do believe that, with Yuno himself, I think that itself is just kind of like anniversary worthy. Could they throw in other characters? Of course. I mean, the exam itself was absolutely huge with the amount of characters that are within within each teams, of course. And so if they want to do a part 1, part 2, they can do so. Do a part 1, get people using their crystals, and then part 2 is Yuno. I mean, we know Yuno is going to be the initial anniversary character. Typically speaking, he might be the only anniversary character. So there's that. So it all does perfectly line up to say that if you are looking forward to Yuno in his form, he is the anniversary character. With the chapters and with how everything is lining up, it's going to be him. Now, like I said, with the fight itself, with all the fights himself in the exam, There's so many. I mean, to be fair, I would love to see another better Leo. I'm still waiting on the day when we get a better Leo. Finral, I would love an SSR version of him. That's, I mean, again, I would like him to stay in the speed factor of things with how the SR Finral works, right? So that's another unit that I'm waiting for. With how the chapter is going about, I do expect Mimosa's brother to make his appearance as a playable character. That's something which I'm expecting at this point. So again, there's a lot that they can do to kind of fill out and evenly break out to eventually get to Yuno himself when it comes to doing the exam arc itself to lead up for the first year anniversary. So it's going to be interesting because realistically it will be from March, April and May. I would say is going to be the exam arc for the game. So so with those particular months, it's going to be interesting to see on what characters do get released. But I do have my hopes on certain characters that I do want to see. Technically speaking, we might see something that we've seen within the beta, but I'll speak about that on another time. I'm just going to throw this in there. Where's Dorothy? Like, hello? I'm pretty, like, we've even seen her, like, they promote her artwork and stuff like that, but I'm just like, where is she? So, yeah, God knows where Dorothy is. Being locked up in the cellar, I guess. Jesus. Anywho, just quickly wanted to throw my thoughts out there when it comes to the anniversary and what I think is going to be happening. Obviously, for Global, it's going to be an absolute sugar honey iced tea show, yeah, if we can call it that. Because, of course, for you guys, it's just going to be piling on week after week after week. Because at this point, of course, they are trying to play catch up, so Godspeed and good luck is what I can say on that part. But obviously for the JP and KR, things are going to be broken up evenly, and so if you do want to skip out on, obviously the only next two characters we know, the only characters we know of, which will be Destiny Vanessa and Zora, and then of course Season 9 will be William and Mimosa as far as we're aware. Yeah, if you do want to skip out in a couple of months, I assume Yuno coming in is going to be a big play. Because of course if you look at all the festival characters being Julius and Asta, they're kind of broken. Mary Leona drops, she counts as Julius, of course. I honestly think, I feel like Yuno might be the one that's going to be countering Asta, because we still technically don't have anything to counter that. Because if you pair him up with Witch Queen, he's got that immortality, and that's a pain in the ass of itself. Maybe that's why they took off Mary Leona. Who knows? Anyway, I mean it's a bit of a long way away, so we might get a character dropping ahead of time that might do some work on Asta. Who knows? But if we don't, then we know Yuno at a later time could be that helpful unit. But anyway, guys, there's enough of me talking. Just again wanted to give my thoughts and let you guys know about the first year anniversary. It's more than likely going to be the Yuno, so yeah, make sure you're saving your crystals if you're a Yuno fanboy, and you're a fangirl, I guess. Yeah, if you've been waiting for the Spirit Dive, save your crystals.